G'day patrons, welcome to Patreon with X Risard and Bear Waterfall. Okay, so, and running water actually with this one as well. They've both of our projects have got running water, more so. There is a waterfall, but it's in the picture, but then there's running water as well. So anyway, the bear. Last week we were blocking in the bear. I still need to keep on going with that. And just to make, because I can see the pastel mat through, and I really do want to cover quite a bit of that, just a little bit more. So I'll just get right into it. Oh, Cherry, thank you for keeping me company. Good morning to you as well. I briefly, I have to tell you also, I briefly had a look at David Porter and him using pastel pencils for portrait. Beautiful work. Really, really beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I haven't had a chance to go right into it, but you know what the most funny thing was is that when he drew his portrait, when he for the eyes, he put two little white dots, and it just reminded me of how I work with pastels. See, by putting those little white dots in the eyes, you know, the little highlights, that helped him, and then he just went ahead and did everything else. He didn't even fill the rest of the eye in, and I thought, interesting. Yeah, and it just goes to show how people work, and you know, yeah, so very, very interesting. I'm just give me a moment here. Oh yeah, definitely liked him. All right, I'm just going to keep on going. Now I've zoomed right in, but I'm letting you know that I've got all kinds of pans, and I'll nominate each one. And I've got some pastel pencils, and I'll nominate each one as I go along. Let me see. I might even just might do that and put a so I can perhaps put a few pans down there. Okay, so brushes that I have, as you know, and I'll introduce, if there's anything new I will tell you. So here I just want to block in more of the bear, and I might even use a smaller brush, so depending how I go. This is all from yesterday's, sorry, this is all from yesterday's project. Like the soft tools and like the pans, like the applicators, you've got to get as much pigment off or wipe when changing colours. So okay, colours that I'll be using for the bear. Now there's a few different ones, but one which I would like to use again is that's the red iron oxide extra dark, and that is the burnt sienna extra dark. I have my mixing palette, and I'll just keep on going. And cover. Now I found on the lighter pastel mat, well, for obvious reasons, if it's lighter and you're putting in darker colours, I suppose it's going to take a little bit longer. If you wanted to get, you know, some dark, rich colours, you know, you have to apply more pans or more pigment down. So I don't know, I find that the lighter colours, I find that they're, and I know I've mentioned it before, I find that it must be my imagination, it can't be that they're different, but I don't know, I think the fibres are much, I don't know, tighter? Would that be right? I'm not sure. Now, I've been using Pastelmat for years, not for like the number 4 years, but for quite a few years. Oh, g'day Pam. Hello, my darling. How you going? Yeah, so, interesting. And of course, really it should be in the direction of which the fur is going. I definitely find the lighter Pastelmat doesn't seem to have as much tooth. See, it's not only me then. It's not only me. Okay. Okay. This just okay. In this area here, you probably can't see it. Well, maybe you can. I want to make sure. Well, what'll happen is the fur will come out, so I won't touch that. But yeah. I was going to say that I needed to make that a little bit more. I needed to cover that up, but let me think about that before I go any further. It's interesting how you've observed the lighter Pastelmat the same, with not as much tooth. I mean, interesting. I wonder if it's got something to do with the tint of, you know, what they use on the Pastelmat. You know what I mean? The tint with the fibre. I wonder if that's got anything to do with it. Yeah. Okay. Now this bear there are different values, and I'm not going to look at it as a bear. Not at the moment anyway. Not while I'm trying to figure out all of the muscles within the bear, like for example, you know, the breast part here and where the leg comes through here, and yeah. And mix other colours. Okay. See, I keep on putting the pastel on here, but it's not. Yeah, anyway, I might make it to work for my advantage because there are some lighter values. Yeah. I need something a little bit darker here. I used to always use the light grey, but since using the darker Pastelmat, I noticed the difference. Yeah. That's why I use the dark greens, the dark blues, the anthracite. What else do I use the dark? Even the dark crimson is okay. Okay. Just want to, again, as I did yesterday when I wanted to get a really dark value, I'm using the black and mixing with another colour. So, yeah, so the black doesn't look flat. Maybe not dark enough here. Oh yeah, here we go. Got it. This bit here, there's a darker value here that I need. Of course, these will get covered, but it's what I want underneath before I start putting in the fur. Yes, I could use this. So this is all I'm doing at the moment. Just trying to figure out the darker bits. And I'm using, I've got here Raw Umber Extra Dark as well. Just trying to get close to that frame. You know, I had a question, someone asked me a question about, there was this flower that I've done, a tulip in fact, and this action just reminded me of that. I had a question, what I had done, I didn't use masking film for this flower, so what I ended up doing was doing the flower. What I should have done really was the background first, masked it, but I didn't do that. It's going back a few years now. Let me see. Oh, going back about 5 years, looks like, by the looks of it, by the sounds of it. Yes. And the question was, because I hadn't used masking film, and I had done the flower, but then I started to do the background, and I had created an area. I hadn't gone too close to the tulip, say for example, but then what I did was, unfortunately I didn't show that footage. I mean, it wasn't intentional, but that was the first time someone asked me that question, and I just thought about it today, and more so now. So if that ever happens, if it gets to the point like here, and you want to make sure that it's flush, I mean, first of all, you need a great deal of patience and precision, but just moving the brush as close as possible without compromising that straight edge. And so it's just bringing up your bristle brush to ensure that you get that. Yeah. Anyway, so I thought I'd bring that up because it was it just reminded me of that. Now there's that little spot there. It's been annoying me since last week. I'm actually going to fill that. It's driving me nuts. I just want to, it's just this spot. That's all it is. It's just this spot. Yeah. Yes. And just painting closely, I think that's, yeah. Like for those who love detail, perfect thing. This kind of brush is the perfect thing, actually. Wow, I can't, actually, now that I was thinking about that tulip, it is going back 5 years. No, it's not. What am I saying? I'm lying. 4 years, I can't even count. Gosh. 4 years, still. And I suppose it's however makes you comfortable. I suppose you could use, of course you could use a pastel pencil. That would also help. But I've learnt to use and manipulate this brush to do so many things. So yes, it's all a matter of practice, isn't it? It's always practice. Practice for everything. This bit is darker, so I'm going to use what I've made here. And we'll going slow. You don't have to go really fast. We'll slow. Do things slowly. Now I can feel the pastel moving, so I know I've actually put enough layers. Let me work to the neck and the face here. So for that I'll be using my smaller brush. Okay. All right. Here we go. Red iron oxide extra dark, burnt sienna extra dark, the black, I'll put this aside, I don't need that, and the raw umber extra dark, all the dark ones. By using the red iron oxide, there's a lovely red brown coming through. By mixing the burnt sienna extra dark, in some areas there's like a sheen of, well, the way I'm looking at it from my computer, in certain areas, yeah. And it'll make it look more 3D. The light shining in different areas. Hang on, I just want to do this bit here before I get into the head. Just notice this. Okay. Burnt sienna extra dark, red iron oxide extra dark now. Bit of the black. Not dark enough. I'm just for all of those who are in the northern hemisphere, you're lucky that you're enjoying some lovely warm weather, while we down here are freezing. Just cold. But I suppose, like, and I know, Cherry, that you're having a few hot days up there in the UK. I'm just jealous, that's all. Wish it was summer already. We're never satisfied, hey? I mean, I suppose my favourite, I mean, I love the summer, enjoy the spring, and enjoy autumn as well. But yeah. Okay, using this fine brush to just block in the face and around the neck here, that's important. I'm going darker because I'm going to go lighter. Bit too hot for us. Okay, when you're on a holiday abroad with aircon and a swimming pool, yes, I appreciate that. Yeah. I think a lot of homes here in Australia, we have aircon. Some don't, but okay, this is the inside of the mouth, so I'm just and that has to be a little bit lighter in this situation. I'm using the palette, yeah, just so I know that that's there as well. And there are teeth as well, so I'll see if I can get that. Fighting with this paper a little bit, just trying to get some layers down. Not too much though. I'm not going to complain. This is my favourite paper in the whole wide world. And there's lots of papers that I love as well, but you know. I just picked up a bit of tint, raw umber tint, and there's this bit that I just want to make a little bit lighter. Actually, it's the yellow ochre that I just want. It's just a touch. Okay, just a bit of you started your granddaughter's picture. Okay, need a lot of work as she looks sunburnt at the moment. Okay, now you know, just take your time. I know what you're doing. Yep. Oh, you'll do really well with that. Just take your time. Because those roses, the flowers that she's holding, the light is reflecting, and it's yes, and it is making her look sunburnt, but that's the image, isn't it? Are you going to paint it as it is in the photo? I think it's a beautiful photo too. What I mean, like with colours and stuff like that. Raw umber. Oh, hang on a sec. I'm spoiling what I've done there. Oh, jeez. Little particles. Have to be a little bit more careful. There's a bit of scared to introduce a new colour here, but there's almost like a burnt. You know what? I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use burnt sienna. As it is without the background. As it is, but without the background. Okay, lovely. Oh, you're going to have well, just enjoy yourself, really. This is burnt sienna, and there are just certain parts, and I'm painting in the direction of the fur, and I'm just going to just make small strokes. And don't forget, on top of all of this, we're going to have sprinklings of water and, you know, splashes of water actually. So all I'm doing now is just concentrating when I've zoomed, because I've got my reference on my computer screen, and I've zoomed right into this area. So what I'm doing is, all I'm doing is just selecting all the bits, all the values where, like the dark bits, the lighter bits, you know, just touching up all the time before I start using the pastel pencil for the fur, because once I do that, I won't be able to, you know, I'm making sure that I put all of this down first, making sure that I'm happy with where I've put all my darks and lights before I start with the pastel pencils, because I will not be able to successfully, you know, get the fur right if I don't do this first. Burnt sienna, extra dark. Mixing yellow ochre shade with the burnt sienna. I tell you what, this little brush, I'm so glad that this brush is around, because I could not get the details. I mean, I could use pastel pencils, yes. I'm not saying that you can't, but because I enjoy the pen so much, and I always like to use them as much and as far as I possibly can, and just a joy to paint with this brush. Being able to get these lovely little, get into these little nooks and crannies, and see, and plus and there's a reason why. Sometimes, if you're not careful, because the pastel pencils will fill the tooth quicker than the pan. Or what's another way to put it is that the pastel pencil, I believe, would flatten the tooth quicker, or filling the tooth, rather than the pan. But we put enough layers so we can use the pastel pencils on top. I find that the pans are more gentler, or more gentle on the surface. It's not a word, Chrissy. Can't talk. I find that the pans are more gentle than the pastel pencils. And even more than the pastel sticks. Anyway. What do you think? Is the question. Do you find that as well? See, I could use a pastel pencil right in this spot here, but yeah. Oh, by the way, I should tell you, seeing as your patrons, I've entered one of the paintings that we've done here on Patreon, hang on a sec, The Old Man and the Sea. I've entered that into a exhibition competition. Be interesting to see what becomes of that. It's a big prize. It's my local it's my local area, but as with those sorts of things, every man and his dog is is applying, which is, you know, really a good thing. But wow, let's see what happens. I mean, the competition. Well, the date doesn't close. Oh, you might want to enter that, Pam, if you like. It's in the Lake Macquarie area. It's my area here, but yeah, I think the dates close in August sometime, so I just submitted it. I'm just going to forget about it now, but I just thought I'd share that with you and see what our Patreon piece does. Hang on, I just want to close the door. It's a bit chilly where I am. Hang on, just one moment. We know what you mean. Oh, okay. Oh, dear. You know what? Sometimes there are words in my head that just don't come out the way I want them to. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. All right. So, good luck. Hope it goes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, look, you know, it was a theme. The theme was because the area that I live in is Lake Macquarie, so they're themed always around the water and stuff like that, and it was all around it's what's called the vessel, and of course they put their little spin on how they want you to interpret that and stuff like that. But I thought, you know what, this could be, you know, like he was a sea captain, and I think that you know, he's had his days in the, you know, in the vessel, vessel as in his ship. So I thought, you know what? Well, of course, there's the lighthouse. Yeah, and it can be sort of direct or indirect interpretation. So, you know, so anyway, but we'll see. Okay, now I don't know if you've noticed, but by using all of these different colours here that I've got. Oh, hang on, you can't see the ones that I know what I'll do is I'll move the reference. There we go. Should have done that earlier. Yeah. So all of these colours, I've got the black, the burnt sienna extra dark, the red iron oxide, the raw umber extra dark, the yellow ochre shade, and the raw umber tint. And of course I've used the burnt sienna as well. And creating, as you can see, you know, creating all of these different values, and it makes it look more 3D. So yes, it is hard for me to get there. Oh yeah, I know. But you can send your work. You can send it. I was looking at stuff in other parts of Australia, but you know, there's always the freight, isn't there? You know, and then you've got to consider how you pack it and how it gets shipped back there, backwards and forwards. Yeah, I mean, the online ones are always the best because you don't have to move them. But yeah. All right, so as you can see, by doing all of this, there's and of course I'm not looking at the animal as such as I'm looking at the area where I want the values. So by the time I use the the pastel pencil, most of the work would have been done. Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. My puppy is, she's she's sitting in with me, keeping me company, and she was on her dog bed just beside my feet, and because I closed the door, I mean, there's this much ajar, I've just got her, it's open enough for her to come in and out, but because I got up and closed it, and then she got up and she wanted to go out, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, sorry, that's the reason for me getting up as well. Again, close the door. I'm going to go close it again because she's lying down again. One moment. Okay. Okay, this is the mixture here with the yellow ochre shade, the burnt sienna, right here. It's about there. There might be some art prizes near you, Pam. What about, and for those who are viewing this on the replay, I'd be interested to read if you've been submitting some of your work in some shows. I know a few people, Kathy I know has, but anyone who is viewing this, and I consider it to be a brave thing to be entering in, because you have to develop, I think, sometimes thick skin, and I have done that in the past. Well, I have developed thick skin, in other words. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Because it's subjective. there's the panel, and there's a panel where they select finalist, and then they'll get then they'll mull over how many they want to select, and they can only select a certain amount. Yeah, so I mean that's why I just forget about I just enter sometimes. Like, it all depends if I'm in the mood, or I just sort of sometimes have a look and say, well, is there anything that I can put some of my work, because competition somewhere. And of course there are regulations. For example, they want you to some art prizes want you to have work completed within 12 months. Some will want you, and if it's a biannual thing, then it's, say, paintings done in the last 24 months or 2 years. Just one moment. Okay, yeah, there is one I have missed. There is one I have missed there. Another soon. Okay, it depends on the judges. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And so if I got the judges on a good day, then that's good for me. Because my work is a little bit out there sometimes, but I'm not going to change the way I paint. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I enjoy the themes that I do, and and that's what it is, isn't it? You've got to enjoy what you paint. Like, for example, if you enjoy painting landscapes, and you should do as many as you can. I mean, we do some really interesting things here, and learn techniques, I suppose. Now I'm going in the direction of the fur, where I'm applying all of these different colours. Red iron oxide extra dark. You don't feel good enough for competitions? Cherry, what are you saying? Are you kidding me? You are joking, aren't you? I hope you are joking when you say that. Jeez. You've left me with no words. You could submit a lot of your work that you've done, even the stuff that you've done with Will as well. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that. Okay, as you can see, I'm putting it's a mixture of colours here. So where I see something a little bit more red, then I'll add a little bit more red iron oxide. Where I see a little bit more on the ochre side, I will add the mixture of the yellow ochre shade with the burnt sienna. And there's my little mixture there. So as you can see, my palette has quite a few different colours. So I'm mixing and chopping and changing as I'm working through this bear now. I'm just working through it, you know, in this area here. So and you see the darker colours, the darker value that we've used is helping us because I'm leaving little, you know, little dark, you know, just darker valued areas. So when I put the pastel pencil on top, there'll be different colours as well. So I'm building my layers, Okay, it's a confidence thing then. Oh, hang on a sec. Pam says, oh, I got a small first and second at the Bull Eye show. Serious? That's fantastic. When did you get that? You didn't tell me? Oh, Pam, that's lovely. Oh, that's fantastic. What pieces did you put in? Cherry. That does it. You are going to have to put something in. Honestly, if I have to come over there to the UK myself and grab one of your paintings and just enter it. My gosh. Don't you dare tell me that. No way. I understand it's a confidence thing. Okay, I get it. But just do it. What's the worst that could happen? I ask you that question. What is the worst? Some of your oils. Oh, that's fantastic, Pam. Super, 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 super. That is so good. I haven't seen these. No. Okay. All right. Well, you've got to be in it to win it. That's okay, Cherry. All I'm trying to do is just encourage you. That's all I'm trying to do, really. And I understand it's a confidence thing, but yeah, just, Well, you've come to the right place to give you confidence. That's all I can say. But you've done some wonderful work, Cherry, so I don't want you to think that, I think that you should have a go. But anyway. And I understand about the confidence issue. Like, I really do understand it. I get it. I really do. I get it. But, think of it this way. Think of it, say, well, maybe down the track you'll say, geez, why didn't I do that? Chrissy was telling me to do it. Or why didn't you do it sooner? That's what'll happen. Why didn't I do it sooner? But anyway. Red iron oxide extra dark, and a bit of the darker value there. I think I'm afraid someone will ask me to do a commission. Well, you can say no. You can say no. I tell you what, sometimes, now I don't know whether I'd like to say stop me if I haven't told you this, but I think I have told you this. Not that I don't like doing commissions. I don't mind doing the commissions. What I don't mind is the customers that are trying to squeeze you for every cent. For every cent, they're trying to haggle, and it's on a then they when you show them like maybe progress, and then they start to criticize and say no, I want the nose is not right, the eyes are not right. When they start carrying on with things like that, that just, it becomes very stressful, right? And well, for me it becomes very stressful, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to paint something, even if it is like for money. I don't want to paint something that I'm not going to enjoy. That's one. So I charge. So if someone was to ask me, oh, Chrissy, could you do this? I go, yeah, no problem. I charge X amount of dollars because I really don't want to do it. But one of these days, I reckon someone's going to call my bluff, and they're going to say, yep, okay. And then I'm going to say, oh, then I'm going to have to do it. But yeah. And anyway, if someone was to ask you to do a commission, Cherry, you can do it. You're capable. Come on. You can do it. Okay, I'm just working my way through this bear as I see things before I start using pastel pencils. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just working through some values. Okay. Pam says, I get back into my art again now that I have time to myself. That happens too, Chrissy. Yes, there you go, Pam. Yeah. Exactly. I don't want the pressure. I just do this for my own pleasure, this is my pleasure. I can tell you this now. And I like to give away as gifts for family if they want one. Oh, yes. Like the dragon, like the golden dragon. That's it. So this is what happens to me. Like, so for example, if you like what I've painted and you want that one, well, I'll sell it to you. And I tell you what, I don't attach myself to the pieces that I paint. If someone said to me, Chrissy, is that for sale? I go, yep. So, yep. There's only, I think, out of all of the pieces that I've painted, and I've painted quite a few, I'm only attached to probably about two or three of them. The rest, yeah, all for sale. If you want it, just let me know. And sometimes, they might just want to print, and that's okay too, you know what I mean? So, prints are much cheaper, but if they want the original, well then, show me the money. And I'm not asking for anything that's unreasonable. Yeah, no. I'm asking for things which I think, that are appropriate to my level, my skill level, and appropriate to the time that I've spent, and, wow, I'm happy with the way this bear is going. It's what happens when I don't know if you can start to see, using all of these different values and tones and colours, you can actually see that the bear is starting to look a little bit more solid. So that's the key. And I want to get this bear as close as I possibly can to the reference. It doesn't have to be exact, but I'm just, so long as I'm close, as close as I possibly can. Yeah, mine all just got... Yeah, we just have to get someone to buy them. Hey, Pam. That's it. Yeah. And so that's why, like sometimes, just to break the monotony, that's why I enter things in an exit. I don't enter all the time. My problem is time anyway, but put that aside, like I'll try to find, every now and again I'll flick and have a look at what exhibitions are on, and some of them I've subscribed to, so like I'll get an email, I'll get an email, I go, oh yes, I must see what I've done that is appropriate to enter in, because some of these shows are themed, you know what I mean? So don't forget there's quite a lot of water that's going to be around here, so we have to be a bit brave here, okay, because there's a lot of speckles. And what we're going to be doing down the track is we could either use a pastel pencil, or we can dust a bit of pan with a blade and just flick it. And our little trick that we do, that we just press down. So there's that. But that is the very last thing that we're going to do. So as you can see, just making sure that I've got enough of the values where I think they should be in these areas before that happens, because there's no way I'll be able to do that. Okay, might be nice to get money that, hang on. Okay, sorry, leaving words out. No problems, Pam. Cherry says, might be nice to get money though. More art supplies. Well, okay. Yes. Yes. And at the same time, I'm creating texture as well. I'm quite happy with the way this is coming along, and enjoying it as well. Are you enjoying, because I know, Cherry, that you're doing the bear. How are you feeling? How are you feeling with it? I know that you in between kitchen cupboards and stuff like that. How are you feeling with your bear? Waterfall picture painting. This brush is fantastic, the way it's just I'm so happy with what it's doing here. If only you could see it in real life. Yeah. Okay. The next exhibition is the Illawarra Art Society, and it's a green theme. Ooh. Well, you've got a few landscape. Oh, green. It could be botanicals. Could be anything, couldn't it? It could be a green frog, couldn't it? It could be anything. Yeah, anything. Oh, wow. Well, are you going to enter? And that's in November. Are you going to enter anything, Pam? Okay. And you're enjoying your bear? Oh, well, that's good then. Oh, good. Okay, Pam. Terrific. Yeah. Well, I can imagine where I've entered mine. Like, you know, there'll probably be, oh, look, I couldn't tell you. I'd be lying to you. But I tell you, in something like this, there would be hundreds if not, it'd be close to 1,000. I'll tell you that now. Easily. So that's why, you know, like with me, like needle in a haystack, you know. So that's what I'm saying. Like, what's the worst that could happen? They could go, sorry, Chrissy, you were, thank you for your painting, but you were unsuccessful at this time, as you know. Yeah. Yeah. So, but what I'm trying to say is I'm not trying to be smart or anything, but I'm just trying to say is that, yeah, you know, they'll say things like that, and then I'll go, oh, well, that's a shame, and then I'll go ahead and then go about my business, and then probably forget about entering anything, and then all of a sudden I'll go, oh, hang on a minute, maybe I should enter this in. It's appropriate for me to do that now. Do you see what I mean? So, yeah. And this side, like when, depending on what I want to do, for example, and I know that I talk about it again, but I'll say it again, when we're talking about these kind of brushes, this one that's got the, what is it? The smudge one, the smudge and the blend. That's exactly right, blend. And that's what I'm doing. I'm actually blending. Isn't that funny? I didn't notice it until now. Blend. And this is what I'm using to blend. That's exactly right. Jeepers. And of course this one is the one where I would apply pastel, not blending, but applying in areas. Yeah. The right person will be there at the right time. There you go. Never a truer word said, Pam. I like that. The right person will be there at the right time. Well said. All right. Let's see what's happened here. Just put this aside. I think I've done as much as I possibly can to this bear before I start using the pastel pencils. So, looking not too bad. Yes, it is a slow process, but I think if we're careful in the way we apply our values, like we've done today, or just building and just keep on building, we're getting there. Because what will happen, this area will work in very quickly. It will happen very quickly here. Most definite, I'll tell you that now. Yeah, this area will work very quickly. And I want to make sure that I get the fish right as well. The bear is looking good. Thank you so much, Pam. That's lovely for you to say that. Yeah, so there you go. Well, look, that's okay. That's all for this week. I'll see you all next week, and we'll be playing with water again with our deer next week again. So thank you, patrons, and bye for now, and I'll see you next time.